99.1 FM, CKXS, back with our Saturday morning all about real estate show. Pete Allaer is back in the house. We're staying in the studios today. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll stay in today.
It was good, though, last week. I like that.
It was. I had a lot of great comments about people that heard our show, and they thought it was kind of cool that we had the mayor here, and we were cruising around town and just kind of showing him the ropes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he learned a little bit about what we're dealing with as a community, and I think he's on board to help change it too.
Yeah, for sure. I've talked to him a couple times this week, so we're, like I said on the last week's show, I'm vowing to push forward to keep things moving, and hopefully we can get something rolling.
Good. All right. Today, speaking of the downtown, you said that you wanted to talk a little bit about the downtown. You got something on your mind?
Yeah, so they're having each year the BIA has put on the downtown, like kind of like a night market or Christmas downtown Christmas market. Well, this year they're doing it a little differently. I think they're the way I see it here is they're doing it a little bit like almost like the farmers market thing they had at the parking lot,
right,
by across from us there at the I shouldn't say the old Liquidation World, at the new Liquidation World parking lot.
Yeah.
So they're having a downtown Wallaceburg holiday market towards the end of November. I believe it was November 26th. They're having that. So that's going to be kind of neat. It's going to be like a night market on November 26th, and there'll be booths all set up in the parking lot. Similar, I say, to a bit of a farmer's market style thing.
Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. So we've opted to grab one of the booths, and the reason we're doing that is we're working in conjunction between now and Christmas, really, with the Salvation Army Wallaceburg. So Riversite has kind of reached out to them to find out what things they may need between now and Christmas. So we're focusing on winter clothing. So they specifically told me they need kids' winter clothing is the biggest thing in demand.
Okay. So
what we thought is, at that market, we would accept any donations of kids' winter clothing. I mean, I asked them about, new, used, slightly used. I mean, basically they said they will accept all of it. I mean, obviously it should be clothing that can be reused.
Right.
But they have no issue with taking some used clothing if you have new clothing. And again, they kind of said the biggest need was the kids' clothing. So coats, hats, gloves, boots, sweaters, wool socks or socks, any of that kind of thing. They'll take adults' clothing as well, adult coats, and men's sweaters. She said men's sweaters, sweaters or things. So anything that anyone has out there, there's a couple ways you can do it. If you're coming to the market that night, just bring it with you and drop it off at our booth. If you're not going to be there that night, you can drop it off at our office. We're open from 9 to 5 days a week. You can just drop it off, and we'll see that the Salvation Army Wallaceburg will get it. And for the most part, I mean, it's important, I think, to me and to most of us here in town is, it's going to stay in town. They do work with the Chatham Salvation Army back and forth a bit, but for the most part, it's for people and kids and families in town, in need that are looking for these items. So
yeah, and I think for those that want to understand it, they collect for Wallaceburg. If there's excess and we have, clothed everyone in Wallaceburg, then the extra will go to Chatham.
Yeah, that's right.
We start with Wallaceburg, take care of Wallaceburg first, and then it goes to Chatham next.
And they help one another, like they said, sometimes.
Oh, Chatham helps Wallaceburg?
Yeah, they need a certain whatever, like a child's coat. They also said when she said kids' coats, like she said they need little kids' coats, but they said they need coats like right up to like teenager coats too, like let's say 10, 12, 14-year-old. So she said they can use, and they're. I mean, the Salvation Army is really good, right? Because I think they're one of the number one places that, they're all kinds of volunteers.
Very
low overhead. Yeah. So so that's why I talked to them and I said, our group said, what can we kind of do just to help the community? So anyone out there, like I say, drop it off at our office. If you want to, that's fine. If you're in that night market, bring it with you then. But basically from now till Christmas, we're doing it. So So anything that anyone has,
Good.
yeah. And then along with that, I wanted to mention the gift.
That's next weekend, next Saturday, right?
Yes, yes. So the gift, which is kind of a spin-off of the Miracle.
May 16 Miracle.
Yeah. And I guess this time, it's similar. And I mean, so some of the things that the gift, like, what are some of the things that you know as well as anyone?
Yeah, toys, non-perishable food items they're looking for. All of those things, you just leave them on your front store or doorstep, and they'll pick it up on November 21st. And then it gets distributed to people like the Salvation Army. We'll get some of those. Goodfellows will also be a beneficiary of those toys and items that you leave on the front steps. But yeah, it's very similar to May 16. Leave them on the front steps. November 21st, they pick them up.
Yeah, because we volunteered as well.
Good.
Our group has volunteered to go
We'll be helping out too.
To pick things up and to sort and so on. One thing someone had said to me that made sense about the Miracle in May was gift cards. So grocery gift cards. So which if you think about it logistically, instead of having like 10 or 15 cans of something, I mean, if you have a $10 gift card or something like that, or a $20 gift card, that's way easier logistically to handle and to sort, and it doesn't expire. And because that was one thing I know with the Miracle, just talking with some of the volunteers, was that it was a lot of work to sort all this and to and transport it all, and to so sometimes we think, we go to the grocery store and buy items and then donate it. Well, there's nothing wrong with donating a gift card.
Great idea.
That was something that had come out of that, saying you can give a family whatever a $20 gift card at No Frills or something, and they can be like, okay, there you go, right? So
you could put $100,000 in gift cards in my office. $100,000 in food, you need an arena.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So that's that was kind of one of the things. So just for people to think about that too, when they're either rather than buy it, maybe if it was $20 they were going to spend, just so that's also for the gift as well. They said that gift cards would work fine. So
you're just full of community information today here, Pete.
Yes, well, we our last meeting we discussed a lot about, because of the time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be thinking this way all year, but of course this time of year you think about these things, and we were just sort of said, what can we try to do to just reach out and help and volunteering. I mean, that's the other thing in general. People out there, I think with COVID, they're having trouble finding volunteers. More people are more reserved. So, if you're okay to be a little bit out there, reach out to the people from the gift. Do you know who's running the gift for Wallaceburg?
Yes, Rick Bernard is the guy to reach out to if you want to volunteer in the Wallaceburg area. He's your guy. And then beyond that, Brent Wilkin, who we talked to last Saturday, would be the guy that you can reach out to for the rest of Chatham-Kent.
Okay, good.
Hopefully that helps out.
Yeah, so anyone out there that wants to, help on that 21st, reach out, because I'm sure they can use, like what's the saying, many hands makes light work. So,
absolutely, very true.
So yeah, it's so those are the kind of some of the things I wanted to bring up today. Start promoting. I mean, Christmas is coming, and through all that we've gone through in 2020, I think we all need to step up the way we can, and I've always said with people, if you can donate something, whether it be monetary, great, but a lot of times donating time is if you're not a person that can donate the monetary, but you can donate the time, that's just as valuable, right?
Maybe sometimes
or more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
agreed. Good information. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we'll take a break here, and then we'll come back. I want to talk a little bit about what happens after you sell your house, and then you got some listings that we can touch on?
Yes.
All right, that's coming up here. It's the All About Real Estate Show, all about community today here on 99.1 FM CKXS. 99.1 FM CKXS. Okay, back with Pete Allaer here. We talked a little bit about the community and the holiday market, November 26th, and the gift coming up on November 21st. Now let's talk a little bit about some real estate here. I guess the first question before we get into some of the listings, after I sell a house, walk me through those steps that I need to do as the house seller. Walk me through that, Pete.
Yeah, so of course, if you haven't done this very often, I mean, you've listed your house and now you've got an accepted offer, and it's a sold offer, so a firm offer. The one thing I always talk to sellers about when they're selling is I talk to them about their mortgage, and I say, okay, are you selling? Are you going to rebuy? Are you convert that mortgage, or are you paying it out? So I always tell them to talk to their bank ahead of time to find out, if I'm paying out my mortgage, are there any kind of penalties or fees?
Right.
So that if there's if there's a $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 penalty, that about that ahead of time when you sell. The next thing is, you've sold your house, it's firm. Now, what do I do next? So there's certain things that I do for you, but there's some things I cannot do for you. So number one is you have to choose a lawyer. And I, quite often they'll ask me who, and I'll give them a few names and say, listen, these are our local lawyers. You can call them. So you choose a lawyer. The second thing, you have to call yourself for the utilities. So I always tell them, I mean, if let's say it's November and your house isn't closing till December, I usually say, wait till the 1st of December, call your utilities, because you're going to be moving, and let's say you're canceling, 123 Main Street, I just sold it. So you got to call your utilities. In town here, of course, it's Integris. They cover hydro and water. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Enbridge or Union Gas, I guess, that covers gas. So those types of utilities, you need to call them. You need to call Reliance if you're renting your hot water tank. You need to talk to Cogeco Cable if you have cable, or internet, those kind of companies, to let them know what's happening.
What's the timeline on canceling? Do you suggest like 30 days, 60 days? What do you normally have to do?
I always tell people, do it. I mean, don't do it too early. So I'd say within the 30-day mark.
Yeah.
Like once you're over the 30-day mark or 21-day, utilities are quite good. They can be you can cancel quite close to closing. But I always just tell them, again, if you're closing on the 25th of the month, wait till the 1st, and then once that comes, and then the other thing you have to remember, and this, I got caught with this with my mother's house, actually. We sold her house. If you have automatic tax payments, okay, and they're not through your mortgage, if that's separately, they come out automatically out of your bank account, you have to specifically call and cancel those, because they'll just keep going. They don't necessarily get canceled at closing. So you have to make sure, depending on how you pay your taxes, if they're an automatic withdrawal directly out of your account, directly to Chatham-Kent, you have to make sure you talk to Chatham-Kent and you tell them, okay, as of this date, stop that automatic withdrawal.
Good tip.
So that's something. I mean, there's other things, of course, but all those things I'm talking about, those are things that you personally have to do.
Do you provide them a list? Do you have kind of you do, eh? That's a great idea.
Yeah, so we'll give them a list and say, these are the things.
You need to do this.
Yeah, these are the things you have to do. And most of the time, it's one of those things where once you sort of remind people, they're like, oh, okay, and I always say, I wish I could do some of these things for you, but I can't. Right. I'm not allowed to call Union Gas and say, oh, can you please, can you cancel Greg Hetherington's gas, please? I can't do that. It has to be you, so.
And I'm kind of thankful that you can't do that.
Exactly.
That would be a great prank to play on someone.
Greg is moving.
All right, that's some good info there for when you sell your house. Let's talk a little bit about some of the listings. If you're looking at buying a house, what do you got for us this week?
Oh, you know what? We're all over there this week. We've got country. We've got Dresden, Port Lambton, Wallaceburg. We got Chatham. We got water property. We just whatever you want, we've got it. So starting with the country, we've got listing at 464 Brigden Road, which is out in Lambton County, just north of Lambton Line on Brigden Side Road. In Dresden, we have 512 Cross Street, Dresden. So if you don't want to live on Brigden, you can head out to Dresden and buy something in Dresden. If you want to head towards the water, towards your house, we've got the 5991 Blue Water Line. Mm-hmm. So we have that
beautiful house right there.
Yes, we can keep going towards Lambton, and we'll pass by another country property on the St. Clair Parkway at 29606 St. Clair Parkway, just north of Stewart Line. And then we've got one in Port Lambton as well, in behind just south of Brander Park, Central Ave. We've got one there at 4690 Central Ave. And then if you want to head to Chatham, we've got one in Chatham at 127 Norway Drive in Chatham, on new price actually on that one. So we got a big variety, and we still got a couple places in town here for sale. So, and believe it or not, we still have buyers. Even though Christmas is coming, we still have buyers. We still need listings, and we still have lots of demand. So,
good. All right. Hopefully one of those houses will work for someone looking for a new place to call home, and get a hold of the guys at Riversite Realty. What's the info that they need to get a hold of you at?
Well, the best thing that they can do is to go on our website, riversite.com, and check out all our listings. They'll be able to look up all these that I had mentioned. And if they want to speak directly to anyone, all of our realtors are on Riversite, our website. They can call us direct on our cell phones, or they can call us at the office and reach out to us. Follow us on Facebook and all the social media outlets, and we're available.
Good to go. All right. That's the All About Real Estate show for you this week here with Pete Allaer. Thanks a lot, Pete, for coming in today. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, Greg.